really want this intro.
We are here in Naramata at BCBR Gravel Explorer. It is the first stage of a 5-day stage race, and we're pretty stoked to be out on course filming the race and athletes. For athletes, we have Amity Rockwell, Sammi Runnels, and Lucas Strain all on course today.
Super cool. A little closer to a UCI mountain bike race than a gravel race, but just enough road to make the gravel bike the perfect choice. Today I have the Cervelo Aspero 5, and I brought these Pirelli M treads in a 35, which was the perfect tire for today. Feeling pretty good. I rode the Easton Narrow Wide in a 48, and then one of these E13 super crazy 9 42 cassettes, but it's perfect.
What did I come with? I came with my Pinarello Gravel, you know, actually literally exactly the same setup I ran for Unbound Gravel. So G1Rs and the EC90AX wheels, wheel of choice. Yeah, gearing wise, I think I'm running a 40 in the front and an 1142 in the back, which is almost enough gears for today. No, it was perfect.
No.
I got my Cervelo Aspero 5 with the Easton wheels and the Pirelli tires. So yeah, I mean these are like pretty chunky, so I'm pretty happy with them, yeah. Hell yeah.
This is a Canadian snack pack, otherwise known as one serving of Dream Wheat. And inside we have chips, an apple, a Kit Kat, and Smarties.
You're all set for your first day of grade 3.
First day. Here we go.
Oh, I'm having a bad time.
I'm having a great time!
Yeah, it was a lot, and the terrain changes kind of came thick and fast today. Started off with rolling roads and some punchy climbs through the vineyards that eventually trailed off into some more technical single track. Few little rock sections where you really had to take your time entering them and really pick the one right line. That eventually faded into some nice forest service road descending with some real bumpy corners, but you're able to kind of keep your speed up through them. And then we ended up off our bikes hiking through what felt like a sand dune and over a tiny little skinny rickety bridge. And then only just jump back onto FSRs and head back down into the vineyards. I gotta say I'm a fan of different changes. I ride my bike a lot just to see a bunch of different things, and so being able to hit all of those things in one short sub 2-hour ride was pretty unreal. Definitely the single track climbing didn't really favor my road riding background, but made the most of it, had some fun, and channeled my previous cyclocross racing life through the hike-a-bike section, so lots of fun.
You gonna tack off the gun or like let it settle in?
No, I'm definitely gonna let it settle in. My back hurts.
Well, coming together with BCBR Gravel, we were excited to sort of highlight our gravel adventure products, and really like we're about building components that are for the pointy end of racing, but also work for everybody, and that's a lot like BCBR and BCBR Gravel's ethos. It's like you might have the race, but you also have the community aspect. So you're trying to have everyone be involved and everyone sort of featured during these events. I mean, it's been a crazy year, so obviously being able to have athletes together and at an event is exciting in and of itself. And then also, you know, featuring the fact that Easton supports the race supports Easton athletes, that sort of thing is pretty exciting. There's Smarties, right?
What? And an arrow?
And an arrow. Wait, you brought an
Canadian.
arrow bar to a gravel race?
So here we are, end of stage 4, and from the outside looking in, seemed to be probably the most technical stage the riders have had to face so far this week. Required a lot of focus on their part to be able to get down smoothly and quickly. It's not abnormal to ride gravel bikes on trails like this, but I think when you start to hit them at race speeds, it definitely introduces some variables and maybe some difficulties that not everybody's expecting. Rounded a few corners and saw some straightaways where a number of bottles have been ejected from some of the bumps, the rocks, and the roots. But for the most part, everybody seems to be enjoying themselves, and if they're not directly racing against somebody else, they're sort of themselves against the terrain. So they're all kind of getting their own challenges and stories out of it, which is nice. Unfortunately, it does sound like there's a few mechanicals today, which will shake up the women's and the men's overall podiums leading into the final stage tomorrow. But until we get to see the time splits, it's going to be a lot of fun, I think, heading back into Naramata tomorrow, and we'll see what happens when the dust settles.
My name is Karen Stark. I work for BC Bike Race. I have done for 10 years. I work for the race and the gravel race as well, doing marketing, media, sponsorship, retail, branding. I mean, we intended to have potentially 250, 300 people. We ended up with just under 100, which actually worked out really well. I mean, we pivoted so many times coming into it and hoping for all the base camp and all the socializing and all the fun stuff and the cheersing, and you know, we just sort of went into it with like, well, let's be conservative and let's not go too crazy on that piece, and if it kind of organically happens, then let's let it happen. So it's not what we're used to. We used to have like a really big party, and we're at sort of, you know, a medium-sized party.
A smaller, more intimate party.
Yeah.